Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. My name is Jack and this is your latest Manchester United news. Plenty to talk about tonight. As always, guys, the big news today coming out of Spain is that Diogo Dalot has been heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid. Real Madrid supposedly are looking to move for him in January rather than waiting and trying to get Trent Alexander-Arnold for free in the summer. I don't know how much of this I believe, but we're going to talk about it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. We've got updates as well, guys, on Leny Yoro. Obviously, we'll be doing our match preview tomorrow, so we'll get into it in more depth there. But Ruben Amorim saying that he is going to be more than likely available for the squad against Arsenal on the weekend. We're going to give updates on Gyökeres, and Manchester United are being heavily linked with him again. It's Pletty goal coming out of Germany. We'll talk about that. We're being linked with an attacking midfielder out of Juventus as well. And then we've got some updates on the contract negotiations with Ahmad and Manchester United as well. So plenty to talk about, guys. Please do smash a like on the video if you haven't done so already. Let's get to 30 likes tonight if possible. So if you haven't done so, do hit that like button. Get your thoughts into the comment section as well. Subscribe if you're new and all of that good stuff. And if you're looking back on this at a later date, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as well. Let's jump straight into it. And we're going to talk, of course, about Diogo Dalot. Now, reports today are coming out quite heavily coming out of Spain, to be quite honest with you, in relation to Dalot. And this is coming from Relevo, however you pronounce that. Anyway, it's saying that United Zone understands that Real Madrid have been monitoring Diogo Dalot for a long time. He's considered an option for the future. Scouting has been ongoing with the club following his performances closely, as called first by Relevo, whoever the case may be. That was subsequently followed up then today as well by Peter Hall and iPaper Sports, saying that Real Madrid will make a £50 million. Now, we did see 50 million euros as the initial fee today, so a little bit of unevenness about what the actual amount will be. Real Madrid will make a £50 million offer for Diogo Dalot in January. They are keen to move for Dalot now rather than wait for Trent Alexander-Arnold next summer. I can just see the Liverpool fans just going, in a way, saying, you know, I hope Dalot goes so Trent doesn't, but Trent is better. Why wouldn't they just wait for him? So they're going to be, itching. But look, either way, these reports are coming out. Look, what do I think of it? I mean, we're seeing, of course, let's bring it right back to Ruben Amorim, and we're seeing Ruben Amorim coming in to Manchester United and completely change the way the team is playing. The identity that we have, the structures, the patterns of play, and of course, the formation as well. We were speaking about Dalot before Ruben Amorim coming in as being one of the players that potentially could thrive under the new system, the new formation as a wing-back, because, we've always said that he is better going forward than he is defensively. He hasn't really burned it up, I would say, in relation to the performances he's put in so far under Ruben Amorim. However, I do have a little bit of sympathy for him as well, because he is being made to play on that left-hand side, and he's fallen on his own sword a little bit, given the fact that, he's quite capable of playing on the left just as much as he is on the right. He's been made play on that left-hand side an awful lot when we've got injuries to the likes of Luke Shaw, Malacia, so on and so forth, only coming back. And Ahmad has been doing really well in that right wing-back role. Now, again, look, I think that may change as players start, returning, and I think a big one for him is Leny Yoro, because when Leny Yoro comes back, you would be expecting him to come straight in to the back three, and that is more than likely going to move Mazraoui out of the back three, even though I think he's been playing really well there. Does that mean he then moves to maybe left wing back or right wing back? One of them anyway. That might free up Dalot to go back on that right hand side. Look, we said it last year as well. Under Erik ten Hag, we've seen Diogo Dalot play a number of different times on the left side. It was left full back, and he never looked as comfortable there as he did on the right. I think if he got an extended run as a right wing back, and I think he will under Ruben Amorim eventually, again, like I said, when players start to return, then I think we could see an improvement. But again, look, we have to say, I really like Diogo Dalot, I have to say. There are some downsides to his game, absolutely there is, and the positives I would say about him is he's the utmost professional. He wants to improve. He wants to progress as much as he possibly can. He's a hard trainer. He works hard. There's never any issues off the field. How much is he on a week? No one really knows. These kind of things are all ticks in the positive box for him. Subsequently, I think he probably will end up one of two things at Manchester United, either moving away from the club entirely or he will be a backup. I think if Mazraoui stays fit and we get in, the big talk over the last 6 months or so, and we were talking about it an awful lot in the summer, was getting in a left fullback at the time when Erik ten Hag was here, and now it's going to be a left wing back. And I think that is probably still going to be the priority, given the fact that Luke Shaw just can't stay fit and Malacia is only going to be a backup anyway. So that means then that if Mazraoui stays fit, I think he plays, given his current performances this season, how well he started his career at Manchester United. I think he starts ahead of Diogo Dalot, I really do. And I think that leaves Dalot as a backup, to be quite honest with you. Does Dalot see the writing on the wall? Maybe. I don't know. Would he want to move to Real Madrid? Probably. Portuguese players and tend to like Madrid and Spain and back, in sunny weather and closer to home and so on and so forth. And that's quite understandable. However, I don't think Diogo Dalot is the type of player to give up that easily. So, especially with this second report here that's on the screen, that Real Madrid will make a £50 million offer for Dalot in January rather than waiting for Trent, just doesn't match up to what Real Madrid do. Real Madrid were not willing to pay anything above, what was it for Kylian Mbappe? Was it 20 million they offered? Something like that anyway. It was a really, really low offer to Paris Saint-Germain when he had a year left on his deal, and PSG pretty much knew they weren't going to get a new contract out of Kylian Mbappe. So, Real Madrid just said, okay, we'll wait 12 months and we'll get him for free next year. They done kind of similar things with Lenny Yoro. They said, look, we're not willing to pay above a certain amount. We will pay this amount now. However, we want to wait for 12 months. So stay put, run down your contract, and we'll take you on a free. And Yoro wasn't prepared to do that, and that's why United got him. When you're talking about Real Madrid waiting 12 months for Kylian Mbappe, why on God's green earth would they pay £50 million for Diogo Dalot when they can wait 6 months to get Trent for free? You know what I mean? Now, I think defensively Dalot is still a better fullback than Trent Alexander-Arnold, but going forward, we know Trent is much better than Dalot. So, yeah, I don't see too much... I don't see too much truth in these reports, to be quite honest with you. I think Dalot and Real Madrid is not going to happen, if I'm being honest with you. And we know as well that, Alphonso Davies' contract is up at the end of the year as well with Bayern Munich. So he's potentially going to go for a free, and Real Madrid have been heavily linked with him as well. I would be shocked if Diogo Dalot went to Real Madrid. I'd be shocked. Alphonso Davies and Trent Alexander-Arnold are available on a free in the summer, and both of them are being heavily linked with Real Madrid. So yeah, I mean, why would they pay 50 million for Dalot? It just doesn't make sense to me, in my opinion. Let's see what you guys are saying. Get your comments in, guys. Let's see. Mark says, hope we don't sell him, but if we do, I say we get Frimpong as a replacement, or a Quenda, who Amorim knows well from Sporting. Well, look, it's clear, Mark, that there are going to be upgrades to the wing-back positions. It's clear, and of course Frimpong would be the number one target for a right wing back role. He's up there with probably one of the best in the world as a wing back for Bayern Leverkusen at the moment, and he's going to be heavily sought after in the summer again. There's no doubt about that. Man United need to be careful though. You go for him, you make sure you're going to get him before you move on to Dalot, and I think that's going to be the case. It's going to be more than likely players out, or players, in. It can be a flip, because do you need to sell players? I don't think United will need to sell players specifically in the summer, depending on how the January transfer window goes. But when you're bringing in players to reinforce the position, you want to make sure you're getting them in before you let the other lad go. And of course, there are, scenarios where you do have to sell first before you buy. When it comes down to financial implications, however, I think United are going to be okay in the summer for things like that. David says, I reckon they'll get Trent instead. Can't see United letting anyone go in January. Or Davies, says Mark as well. Dylan says, reckon Dalot put in man of the match performance versus Arsenal, just to see Madrid who they should get. Ben says, I think the main question is, as always, does Dalot want to go? Exactly. Like if we look at Dalot and what he's on at the moment, he's on a contract until 2028. He's only 24. Is that all he is? Yeah, he's only 24 years of age. Not even in his prime yet. And salary, yeah, he's on £85,000 a week. So would he get more at Real Madrid? Probably. Or he probably would get something similar to that. So he's not one of the highest earners either, so you would say in that regard, he probably wouldn't be the hardest player to actually move out of the club, to move on, if you did want to get him gone, given the fact that, when you talk about somebody like Anthony Martial, who was on $250,000 a week, who was never getting that in the month of Sundays at another club, it's going to be a lot harder to move on them types of players. 15 mil for Dalot is a must take. If he gets put as backup, his value might dip. So it's a no-brainer. I agree, it's a no-brainer. I mean, if a £50 million offer comes in for Dalot, I think you take it. Absolutely you do, and you reinvest that into a Frimpong or whoever the case may be. So, yeah, absolutely. I think that would be good business, and it would be silly to turn it down. David says, speaking of Mazraoui, United have absolutely rinsed Bayern with the fee. The guy looks like he's been at United for years. What a signing. He's been absolutely phenomenal. Him and Dalot, or him and Onana have been our best players this season by a mile. It's been absolutely fantastic. What did we pay? 12 million for him. We should literally go back to Bayern Munich and go, do you want any more money? We'll give you a few more pound if you want. That's how good he's been. He's been fantastic. And again, look, I mean, Ruben Amorim has been speaking about him in his press conference today as well, saying, he loves him. He's the future of the club. He's the type of player he wants in his team. Like, I would go as far as saying is, if you had 10 other players starting on the pitch week in, week out, like Mazraoui, you're in a good shout with winning a title. You know what I mean? You just are. That's how good he is. Now the issue with Mazraoui over the last couple of years at Bayern specifically as well has been he has been injury prone. Now everything made out of wood. Fucking don't get injured. But yeah, he has had some injury problems in the past. JTag says, score prediction for Arsenal game. I'm going to do that tomorrow. We're doing our match. I'm going to do a pre-record for the match preview, guys. So that should be up around lunchtime tomorrow on the YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel. If you have subscribed, guys, and you haven't already done so, turn on the notifications, okay? Just click the notification bell down below and click all. So when you're in work, or you're wherever you are about your day, you'll just get a little notification up on your phone. Bing, United Community Channel has uploaded match preview. And then you go on, give it a little watch for a few minutes, you hit like, You maybe leave a comment underneath. YouTube say, oh, look at this lad's video. There's loads of people commenting and liking it. Let's push it out to more people. You know what I mean? And then I can quit my job and do this full time. Come on. So yeah, Mark says, either way, Real are getting a bargain if they pay 50 million for Dalot or Trent for free. Is 50 million a bargain for Dalot? I don't know if it is, to be honest with you. I think it's, I think we would be, I think it's probably a fair valuation, to be honest with you. Fair valuation. Anyway, I want to move it on, guys. And I want to talk about a different player at Manchester United. And the player in question is this guy. Look at him. Oh, I can't wait for it. I can't wait to see him play. I can't wait to see him put on that Manchester United jersey and play a competitive game. We've seen him in a United jersey already, and albeit it has been in pre-season, but he looks like he is very close to being back. And Ruben Amorim has said today that he expects Lenny Yoro to be in the squad to face Arsenal on Wednesday. Now, we will be doing a live watch along for it on Wednesday, guys, as well. Another reason why you turn on notifications, we will be live for it. So, yeah, I mean, it's really, really good news. Now, will he start? No, he won't. Straight up, he will not start. You're not going to bring in Lenny Yoro for a first game, you know, his first game back in, 5 months? 4.5, 5 months? And play him against Arsenal away from home. That just won't happen. Now, you know, let's look on the other side. You know, always look on the bright side of life. Let's say that he has been fit and available for the last 2 or 3 games since Ruben Amorim came in. But Ruben Amorim was going, no, I'm going to spring you. I'm going to start you against Arsenal. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But anyway, Ruben Amorim has been speaking highly of him today as well in his interview. He says in relation to Yoro, he's really fast, but he's a modern defender, and that is good when you want to press high. You have a lot of strikers, especially in this league, 1 against 1. I think he can manage that. He's very good with the ball, so I'm really excited, but we have to be careful. We have to manage the load and the minutes in the beginning, but I'm really excited to see Lenny Yoro playing. So again, that goes back to what we've said about, you know, maybe he's not going to play. He might not play at all on Wednesday night. You never know. But I certainly am looking forward to seeing Lenny Yoro being back and putting on a Manchester United jersey, because he has been touted as being the generational talent that Manchester United have been looking for in the heart of that central. Now, and again, this is another question, because I was speaking with my dad the other night about Lenny Yoro coming back, and you know, a lot of us have been talking about, you know, Dalot in the middle and Lenny Yoro on the right hand side of a back three, and he reckons that Lenny Yoro is going to come back and he's going to play in the middle. He's going to play as the central defender in the back three with Dalot playing on the right. And the reason for it is we see Dalot play on the right of a back three with Juventus a few years back, with Bonucci playing through the middle. So yeah, I mean, I think it does give us options. I think Lenny Yoro could 100% play in the middle of a back three. The reason why I would probably go with De Ligt is because of his experience, his big game experience. You know, he's been at Juventus, he's done it there. He's been at Bayern, he's done it there. He's played Champions Leagues, you know, big competitions, big games. So he's got the experience to kind of, you know, to take charge of that defence. And he's been doing a really good job so far in the middle. You know, with Mazraoui on one side and Martinez on the other. I think he's been doing really well. And he's kind of, you know, De Ligt has gone about his game, you know, nice and quietly under the radar since, especially since Ruben Amorim came in. You know, he's done the simple thing. He's played, you know, as a centre back. He's passed it left. He's passed it right. He's he's kept possession. He doesn't try and do, your Harry Maguire, big, long chip balls. He's impressed me an awful lot. Now, there has been one or two times where, he's been caught one-on-one. He's not the quickest in the world. So that may be another reason why you look at Lenny Yoro playing central and De Ligt maybe, on the right-hand side. And I think depending on the opposition, you can switch, you can mix and match. If you are going up against a, I don't know, name a rapid striker, like really fast. I don't know. Is there any strikers out there that you think of, that are just like, yeah, they're absolute lightning. None spring to mind. Watkins, says Dylan. He's not rapid. He's fast, but he's not rapid. Anyway, regardless, you're talking about then being able to move Lenny Yoro into the centre. But if you go up against a Haaland, for example, I would rather De Ligt playing in the centre, because he'll get in, he'll elbow him, he'll win the physical battle, probably more so than a young 18-year-old learning the game. So again, it's options, and it's options that I'm delighted we have. So look, we'll go more into it tomorrow night when we do tomorrow lunchtime for the match preview. But I would love nothing more than United to be 3-0 up with 70 minutes gone in the Emirates on Wednesday night, and right, it's time for Lenny Yoro. On you come, son. Bring off De Ligt, bring on Lenny, shore up. You know what I mean? Happy days. That's the way. I want to see it. But yeah, I mean, look, it's going to be a great game. And as well, guys, for anybody who doesn't know, we'll put it up on the screen. Man United have drawn Arsenal away from home in the third round of the FA Cup. I'm not sure what the date is on it. If someone knows the date, maybe throw it into the group. I don't know, or maybe there hasn't been a date set yet. I'm not sure if there's been a date set. But Man United have drawn Arsenal away in the next round of the Cup. And do you know what? It's pressure for Arsenal more than us. Just let me get a little sip of water here. It's pressure for the 11th of January, says Mark. Brilliant. Appreciate it, Mark. It's pressure for Arsenal more than it is us. And the reason for that, we've won 2 trophies in the last 2 seasons. And the pressure is coming now on Mikel Arteta to stop, maybe disregarding some of the cup competitions and start having a real go. We've seen in the last 2 years specifically, he's kind of, we're going for the league here. And, they fell short. Now, if he does that again this season and finishes another year without a trophy, I think Arsenal fans will be demanding maybe a change, to be quite honest with you, because, what has he gone now? 5 years without a trophy? Is it 5? He's in his 5th season anyway. Maybe it's 4, because he won one in his first half season, didn't he, with Unai Emery's team. So, yeah, I mean, the pressure is going to be on for Arsenal in that one. And, again, it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. Now, look, there's a lot of football to go between now and then. So, we'll see, what way the squads are shaping up between now and then. And but, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. Let's see what you're saying here in the chat. Fire says, Dalot playing for Madrid is way too big a job for him. Dylan says 50 mil seems an awful lot for a right back. Luke says Northampton Town season, bad performance 2024. John Brady, my manager. There we go. Dylan says, Jesus, when Yoro comes back, can't wait. Ben says, bring Yoro on when we're 3-0 up. There we go. Great minds think alike. Don't forget last year when Lille played PSG, Yoro pocketed Mbappe. Makes sense to play him in the middle, I suppose, says Ben. Fire says, the game starts at 8:15 on Wednesday and I have school on Thursday. What a late time for me. There you go. Well, you might just have to look at the replay, Fire. I'm afraid. Michael says, Arsenal in the cup. Yeah, Mark is in. Good to see you, pal. Arteta won the cup in 2020. Right, there we go. 4 years. 4 years. Right, guys, let's move it on. And let's talk a little bit about transfer news. Now, we were speaking a little bit about players out in relation to Dalot, but players in is what we're going to be speaking about now. And a lot of interest and a lot of reports continuing to surface around Manchester United and their links with Victor Gyökeres. Plenty Goal, who is quite legitimate in terms of a source coming out of Germany, works for Sky in Germany. He says that Manchester United have now held initial concrete talks for Victor Gyökeres about a potential transfer in the summer. United are now fully involved in the race to sign him. The deal will require sales first for United. And Man City have also intensified their efforts in recent days. So there we go. Look, I'll go back to what I've said about this. I think, Victor Gyökeres is a fantastic player. And it all comes down to the price, in my opinion. It all comes down to the price. We know about this gentleman's agreement where we could potentially get him for cheaper, but not just us, but anybody, because he's got a gentleman's agreement with Sporting. However, I think we need to allow this season to play out first, because, I don't want to be too quick to disregard Rasmus Højlund. Okay, now some people will jump straight on my back here who want to just see the world crash and burn, who are not willing to wait for anybody to try and progress and become the player that they potentially can. But we seen Gyökeres. He went from Coventry to Sporting Lisbon, and just when he went to Sporting Lisbon, little bit of time under Ruben Amorim, he's just absolutely after exploding. Why couldn't that happen with Rasmus Højlund as well? I don't see why it couldn't. Now, it may not, and I think that's why we need to, now again, these reports are saying it's not going to be until the summertime anyway, so it does give us that bit of time, and it gives, if I was Rasmus Højlund, I would be going, right, well, I need to buck up here now for the season. Now, look, he had a brilliant game midweek, scored 2 goals, and he was, by the looks of things, he was rested against Everton on the weekend. And look, I think, again, I'll be doing my match preview tomorrow, but I think he'll be number 1 on the team sheet. I think he starts against Arsenal. So, these reports can be a good thing for the current players that are there. When we talk about, the likes of Xerxes, who again played really well on the weekend, he's going to have a fight, even though it's his first season. He's going to have a fight on his hands to, to say, I want to be here next season as well. Now, does Joshua Xerxes maybe transform his game to maybe play in one of the number 10 roles? That may be the case. I don't know. And we'll see what Ruben Amorim has in store for him. But if we look at, again, I'll do it for the match preview tomorrow, but if we look at the heat map for Joshua Xerxes yesterday, I'll try to get it up on the screen here, but he was playing nearly as a number 10. I seen it on Twitter yesterday where his average touch was in the number 10 role, and let me have a look, and the 2 number 10s were actually more advanced on the field. I thought his link-up play was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, look, I've got it here, and I'll put it up on the screen for you. If you look at Joshua Xerxes' heat map here on the right-hand side, the majority of the time he was playing in this, number 10 role. He was dropping out, looking for the ball. And, if we go to Marcus Rashford, for example, he was more advanced. If we look at Bruno Fernandes, he was even more advanced again. So, is there a scenario, getting back to Gyökeres here, is there a scenario where United go for Gyökeres without having to sell either one of Højlund and Xerxes and keep both of them? Again, I'm not too sure. I don't know if funds will allow us to do that. But again, look, I mean, all of the right noises are being made around this guy, and Man United need goals. We've had a good week. in terms of goals. In 3 games, we've scored 8 goals. So it's been a good start to Ruben Amorim in terms of that, scenario. But you always need to buy your goals in. 9 times out of 10, you buy your goals in. You might get lucky once in 20 or 30 years where a Harry Kane comes up through your academy. But when was the last time Man United had a striker come up through the academy that scored 30 goals a season? I don't think we've ever had one, to be honest with you. Danny Welbeck, not so much. You could say maybe Mason Greenwood could have got there, but again, you can't include him in that. I don't think we've ever really produced a world-class striker through the academy, which is a shame. You know what I mean? So, 9 times out of 10, you do have to go out and buy your goals. And I think Victor Gyökeres would give you goals, which is a good thing. But again, look, there's a long way off to that. But the fact that United are interested in him, negotiations, dialogue has been opened between us and Sporting and his representatives so far is a good thing, but we won't be the only ones. Like we said, Man City are already doing the same thing as well by the looks of things. However, would Gyökeres go to Man City to play behind Erling Haaland? Not a chance. Not a chance. Excuse me. Let's see what you're saying here. Mark says, bit off topic, Jack. 50 million for Dalot is a good price. We could buy someone better than Dalot for around that price in his position. And if I'm not wrong, it will help us in FFP too. Yeah, we were just speaking about Dalot, Mark, a few minutes ago. I think 50 million. I think you take 50 million if you get it offered for Dalot, even as much as I like him, Fire says, Jack, do you think Mark Goldbridge knows you? Probably not. No, probably not. Probably not. Do you think Brantwaite had a good or bad performance against us on Sunday, and will that change Ineos's mind on him? No, it won't. You don't sign one player. You don't sign a player on one performance. You just don't. You look at the collective. You look at him over a season, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. Now, there may be the case where, Cristiano Ronaldo for Sporting Lisbon plays against John O'Shea and absolutely destroys him. And 3 days later, he's making his debut for United. However, the 99.9% of players will be heavily scouted over an extended period of time, and you make a decision that way. Passat is in. Good to see you, pal. Mark says, I'd love to sign Gyökeres, but I'd be so disappointed seeing Hyland as a backup. So would I. I want to see Hyland being 30 goal a season striker. I really like him. I really, really do. And I think he has the potential to do it. Doughball says, would you rather sell Hyland and Xerxes if it meant getting Gyökeres? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way. No way. You can't sell 2 to bring in 1, in my opinion, when the squad is thin enough on goals as it is. I'd love to have Wirtz in one of them 10 positions, says Mark. Dylan says, if we sign Gyökeres, may as well sell Hyland because that man can be certain starter. No way Hyland can get in ahead of him unless of injury. Jack, what about Chido Obi Martin? He signed his first pro contract this week. Yeah, true. We did sign him in. You know what I mean? That's the thing. And look, he will technically be an academy graduate. He will be. He didn't come up through the ranks, as an 8, a 9, a 10-year-old all the way through. You know what I mean? And Mark says, it's not really about that. It would nearly benefit Hyland as he's young and can learn off of Gyökeres. I can see what you mean. Yeah, well, look, I mean, ultimately, if Gyökeres comes in, I don't see Hyland leaving, to be honest with you. I don't. And, you look back at, again, the 99 season and, the season after and so on and so forth. We had York, Cole, Sheringham and Solskjaer. And, all of them 4 strikers would have got into any team starting in the Premier League. They would have. But they were all happy to stay at Manchester United and be part of the team and be rotated in and out because it was successful, So I think we need to get back to being successful first before we can look at, maybe bringing in 5, 6 players that, that are going to be rotated when they should really be starting. What a time to be alive, says Mark. Now, want to talk a little bit as well, guys, before we finish up for the last few minutes on this guy over here, Amad Diallo, and what a season he's having so far for Manchester United under pretty much, I mean, I will say, I didn't have a lot of bad things to say about Erik ten Hag. I tried to be as positive as I possibly could with him. But seeing what this lad has done since he's left, Erik ten Hag made a massive, massive mistake not playing him more. Massive mistake. Massive mistake. You know, when you think about, he played Omari Forson ahead of Amad because he wanted to get Omari Forson to sign a new deal, and he didn't sign one anyway. And he played him ahead of Amad. You know, I thought it was a huge mistake by Erik ten Hag. And yeah, he's just gone on to prove him wrong under both Ruud van Nistelrooy and now Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim is a massive fan of him. And if you were to say to me at the start of, when we were doing the watch-alongs for pre-season with Erik ten Hag as manager, that by Christmas Amad would be a right wing back for us, I would have said, will you ever fuck off? Will you? Don't be talking wibble. But he's been absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. He really, really has. And I've been so impressed with him. And getting on to the good news, Fabrizio Romano has been saying today that he understands that Manchester United are making good progress with Amad Diallo's new contract in recent weeks. United are working to get a new long-term deal done before the end of 2024, even before activating the club's clause to extend the current deal until 2026. Amad is key for the club and Amorim. So, basically, the nuts and bolts of this are his contract is up next year, but United do have that 1 year extension clause that they have to trigger by the end of January. So if United don't have a new contract negotiated with him by then, they'll trigger the 1 year deal. And then you will have from there till the end of the season, till the summer, to get a new contract negotiated with him. And if you don't, let's say for some reason we don't, then the club will have a decision to make. They will have a decision to make in the summer to say, well, we can't, come to terms on a new deal here. Do we keep him for 12 months or do we try and sell him? I don't think it will get that far. I think Amad is going to sign a new deal. I think he can see real progression in himself, in this system, in this team, under this manager. And I think it's the right place for him at the time, at the moment to really progress and to really improve. And I've been absolutely delighted with him. I really, really have. These are the types of players. Again, I said there a few moments ago about Mazraoui, and if you had 10 other players on the pitch like Mazraoui, you'd be in a title challenge. I would put Amad into that bracket as well. If you had 9 other players like Mazraoui and Amad on the pitch, you would be in a title race. You would. You simply would, That's how good he's been so far, and he's been brilliant, and big up to Solskjaer for signing him, and I think him going out on loan that time to Sunderland was the best decision he ever made, because he got some real game time. It toughened him up. He was very, very skinny before he went on loan, and even a little bit after he came back on loan. But if you look at him now, he's still small in stature, but he's filling out an awful lot. You can see his legs are getting bigger, muscles. He's getting a little bit broader on top. He's got a low center of gravity. He's strong. I've been very, very, very impressed with him this season, and long may it continue, because that right hand side for United has been a poison chalice over the last, I would say, since Valencia. I know, and I know Valencia wasn't the greatest player in the world, but he was a solid 6.5, 7 out of 10 every week, on that right hand side before he went back to right full. Yeah, I would go back as far as that to say, obviously we had the issues with Mason Greenwood, we had the issues with Jadon Sancho, we had Dan James wasn't anything too spectacular. Who else did we have? There was one other was one other I can't think of. But anyway, that right-hand side now, Anthony. Fucking jeez, Anthony, So, yeah, I mean, I'm delighted with Ahmad in that right wing-back role. And, we've seen Ruben Amorim at Sporting Lisbon with his two wing-backs. He tends to play one of his wing-backs is a defender and the other is the more attacking player. And we're seeing that at the moment with Dalot, who's a full-back, and Ahmad, who's a winger, and it gives real good balance to the team. And, you can always move the likes of Mazraoui in and out of that now as well. Malacia's there, Luke Shaw is there. All of a sudden, you've got an awful lot of lads that can play in an awful lot of positions, which is creating an awful lot of competition, and that can only be a healthy thing for the club and for the squad. So yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely delighted, to be honest with you, and I hope he gets a long contract. I hope he gets a nice pay rise, and I hope he continues to put in good performances and continue to score goals, because we need goals. We need goals, so we do. Let's see what you're saying here. Let's see. Should have been played since the Liverpool goal, says Mark. Yeah, I mean, I will. He will always be in my. I will always be grateful to him, because I was in Old Trafford that day for that goal, and it was phenomenal. It was. Go and watch the match day vlog on the channel. I was crying after he scored because I was full of Guinness, and the roller coaster of emotion from, being in the lead to fucking then Liverpool go 2-1 up, and then Anthony equalises in the last minute, and then Rashford, the last kick of the 90 minutes, hits one wide. So then it goes to extra time. Liverpool score. Then Rashford equalises, we're still in it, and then Ahmad wins it. You're just up and down and up and down. And up. It's like drinking vodka and Red Bull, where you've got a depressant and a stimulant, and you're just all over the place. It was fantastic. I loved every minute of it. But yeah, I will always be grateful to Ahmad because of that. Mark said he's such a workhorse at wing-back, but it's even better when a lad can dribble like Messi. Great to watch. Every time he gets the ball, you think he will do something with it. Yeah, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. He gets you off your seat, and that's what being a Manchester United player, especially an attacking player, is all about. I was at the what game was it? A couple of weeks ago, the Europa League game, where Ahmad scored, and he gets you off your seat. He gets you. As soon as he gets on the ball, he starts running, lads, you stand up, and that's what you want. Lewis says, on and off the ball, he doesn't do a lot wrong, and he does a lot right. There you go. I mean, you can't get much better than that. Let's see. He loves the club too, says Mark. Never forget that goal Valencia scored against Everton too. How could you forget about Anthony? I know. And Lewis says, yes, if you see the average position of the players yesterday, you can see Ahmad played a lot more further up compared to Dalot. There we go. So it gives a good balance, and it means that you can transition into a back four when you lose possession if Dalot is more defensive. Don't want Ahmad to get too much of a pay rise. Money seems to ruin players from the club. Yeah, well, I mean, in fairness to Ineos, they haven't been given extortionate wages, which is good. Pauk. It was Pauk. Appreciate it, Benny. Lewis says, same as Stretford end behind the goal. Saw you in the tollgate that day. There we go. Next time, come up and say hello. That's what the drink does, lad. I know. I know. And Adam says, score prediction for Arsenal. I'll be doing my score predictions, Adam, in the match preview. It'll be up on the channel around lunchtime. Tomorrow I'm going to do a pre-record for it. I'll either do the pre-record tonight or I'll do it in the morning. So yeah, like I said, make sure you're turning on notifications, guys. The notification bell is underneath. Just click the notification bell and click all. And then as soon as the match preview is up, I'll get it up at 1 o'clock so people can look at it on their lunch. And anybody on TikTok as well, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, link is on the homepage. You do all the watch-alongs over there as well, so make sure you're subscribed. It helps the channel out a lot. We're on the road to 13,000 subscribers. I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. But guys, look, we're going to leave it there. I do appreciate you all watching. Like I said, if you haven't done so already, do hit that like button for me. The likes have been very low tonight. I'm disgusted with the lot of you. We've only got 9 likes on YouTube. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already on the way out. It helps the channel out an awful lot. The live poll as well, guys. We've got 25 votes on it. Would you sell Diogo Dalot in the summer? 40% say yes and 60% say no. So there we go. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you watching. I'll be back tomorrow night as well with a news show. No, I actually won't. Sorry, because I've got training tomorrow night myself. So I'll have the match preview up around lunchtime, and then we'll be back for the watch along on Wednesday. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great evening, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.